Good evening, good evening, good evening, wherever you are. It is Sunday night, after hours edition, international break. It's been crap, I'm not going to lie, but it is what it is. To my right is Jazz, the money making machine on football at present, and down the bottom of there is Lou. You know who he is. He's from West Ham Network, and we're here to talk about West Ham United, Jared Bowen for striker, and Max Kilman, factor at West Ham. Gentlemen, Jazz, Lou, how are you both?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing this. I know, I always go off tangent, but I'm 9 days into a health thing where I haven't drank any rum in 9 days. I've been going to the gym, starting the juice diet tomorrow. So I want a really good positive roller coaster at the moment.
How are you finding the gym, Jazz?
Yeah,
How you
because I'm surprised how quickly I've been all right. I've been all right. I picked it up a couple of days. I go gradually, so I rotate between. I'm one of the few people that likes cardio. I don't mind cross trainers or running or anything. I'm all right. My knees are all right. So bit of that, bit of weights. I've got a lot of weights at home anyway. So and the diet thing is no junk food, no takeaways, just meat, fish, salad, just food you make at home. And because I've been looking into lots of things, but I'm not going to go into it today. But yeah, so that's the new health thing for me, mate. 8-9 days into it.
New man. Lou, how you doing, mate?
Not as well as Jazz, apparently. On a detox thing. I went to the gym a few times back, and I felt like, when you sort of get that sort of smug little, you brag about going to the gym. I'm just going to the gym, and then no one goes, "Are you going to the gym?" And they go, "Oh, I've seen a bit," and as if it's like the most normal thing you can do. Went there, didn't really like it after a few times, and I've ended up doing that thing where you spend £100 worth of. So ironically, you say that I've just spent about £100 worth on gym equipment at home, just little bits here and there. I haven't touched it at all. 5 minute wonder, and that was it. I ain't done it since. But I do eat well. So I'm with you there, Jazz, with the cooking. It's this little thing, a little side note. If anyone thinks it's hard to give up on junk food, it's not, because I like junk food. Right? When you start eating decent food and you do it for a little while progressively, you actually forget about eating junk food, and when you do, it hits you twice as hard. You go, "Oh my god, that tastes was it heavy?" You get heavy, you get sluggish. You think, "I'm touching this again." I'm not saying I'm not like a promoter for healthy living or nothing, but you do realise after a while, like it's how much you don't miss junk food when you leave it off a little bit. But anyway, if you eat junk food, enjoy it. I'm not saying you're.
I think the things are like you need something that keeps you full. So breakfast, I'm doing eggs and mushrooms one day. Next day, I'm doing porridge, and it's keeping me full. And snacks is where everyone fails. Snacks, I think, in between.
Use fitness fanatics. Honestly, I'm gonna have to get on a diet myself, mate. Trust me. Christmas is coming. I'm gonna have to get on a diet.
You're fine. You're lovely as you are.
Yeah, I love myself just the way I am. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to Jazz though for doing that. I must admit, it takes a lot of commitment to sort of give up the booze and get to the gym and start pumping some iron. One thing with West Ham currently right now, Jazz, it's a new era at West Ham.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm above average. Yeah, I'm all right because I just looked at the league table when we went live. We're about 12th.
Yeah.
Reasonably hard fixtures. I wanted to avoid defeat in the first game. We didn't. City, what can I say about that? Performance-wise, slightly better than in previous years. But thank God we had to pick up 3 at Fulham because some people were saying, "Oh yeah, if we draw, we'll be all right." I said, no, we lost at home to Villa. We need to beat Fulham, and we did. So I'm all right, mate. All right. With obviously few things to talk about that, could be improved on, but it's all right. Yeah.
What about you, Lou? What are you saying?
Quietly underwhelmed, but patient with it, if you get what I mean.
Underwhelmed? How so, sir?
Yeah, no, I don't look. Me and you had a chat actually at the time, I remember, and you said that Lopetegui is a classic Sullivan signing. And realistically, he is, because he was free, desperate for a job. Well, not say desperate, but he wanted a job. Easy kind of guy to go for. And as everyone knows, or people who know me on here before, Twitter, whatever you name it, it was very much Moyes out. So when Lopetegui came in, I said I'm going to give him all the time in the world, like I did to Moyes. Moyes hit the ground running. Don't be wrong; it was a different start. Lopetegui's got, I think, he's very much a different manager to Moyes. He seems to be standards are right up there in a different way to how Moyes was. And I'm sitting there and I'm not quite. I'm seeing part of Moyes' ball and I'm seeing part of Lopetegui ball. And there's been a lot of new signings, and I'm not expecting it to come overnight. But I think the Villa game is a bit of an eye opener because I completely disregard the pre-season games and results because I don't think you can take much off from much. You can take a little bit here and there, but you can't take the whole thing. But so far, the Palace game was good because you won. We scored 2 goals, conceded goal. But I think overall, I think most people, if you ask most people, it's not been brilliant. It's not been the worst either. It's been here and there. Who we play Man City. Everyone thought we'd lose to Man City anyway, but it's not the fact we lost to them. It's the fact that we played better. The Bournemouth game, I think, was a bit of an eye opener for a lot of people. I think people thought we would really go at that. There'd be a lot more new signings in there and stuff, and it didn't really go that way. And it was probably one of the worst performances seen in a long while, even under Moyes. So overall, I'm not saying I was expecting to be like excited and all the rest of it, but for what it is, I am a little bit underwhelmed. That's probably as much of a moan as I'm going to have about it, to be honest.
I agree with you slightly. It's not exactly like if anyone was thinking it's going to be free flowing Pep Guardiola football, they're very much mistaken.
I wasn't thinking that. That might be sound like I was thinking that, but it's not.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. Like when Lopetegui come in and the signings that we've made, I think we've signed some good players. I'm a bit like I do worry about him a little bit, Lopetegui, because I think some of the players don't match what he wants to do. But that's another story. But Jazz, how you found it though with the games that you've seen? Obviously, you see Villa, and then Palace, and then we went on to Bournemouth. And I do agree with Lou on this. I really do. I thought Bournemouth was absolutely horrendous to a point. What are you saying, Jazz, on that?
Yeah. Villa game was playing quite a high line. The fullbacks were sitting on a halfway line like Liverpool. And we were very, very open. Rodriguez was obviously exposed because Paqueta wasn't quite in there, giving him a hand. We didn't have Alvarez playing in that game either. Souček, he's not really a CDM. So Rodriguez was very, very exposed by himself in the centre mid. And they were coming at us in the first half. We could have been 2-3-0 down. It wasn't good. It's just that we've signed a lot of players. Not sure how they're going to fit in. I don't know what formation he's going to play, which is kind of good in a way. He's got many formations. Like I said, Souček didn't even start the last game. So every game will be different formation, different team. Got 2 players in every position. But for me, that was the Villa game. Fulham game was a lot better. Game of 2 halves. First half, Palace were better. First half. Second half, we just turned the screw. Good finishing by Bowen. And then obviously what we're seeing now is when it comes to about 68, 69 minutes, our subs, isn't it? We've got really good subs, just good subs to bring on. That's beginning to make a difference. City, we did a bit more in the attacking half than we normally do, but just came short. I mean, sometimes a fine line, isn't it? Kudos. What a great goal that would have been, hit the crossbar, didn't he? That would have been 2-2, and then the crowd. And Pep has admitted, even though result-wise they've always done it, he hates coming, doesn't like playing West Ham a lot. We always give him a good game. Bournemouth game I went to, very, very disappointing. And we managed to get over the line into a wonderful draw away to Liverpool. But I always said before any ball was kicked that I'll be behind him. I didn't know how many players we were going to sign. So before I knew any players were going to sign, I was saying top 10 and I'll be happy. He's got 2 years to get us into Europe. Then now that I know how many players have come in, even though our wages have gone down, funny enough, you got to get Europe 7th at a minimum, I think, with the squad. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, a lot of things we can work on. but it's still unknown, isn't it? It's way too early to know what's going to happen this season, I think. Yeah.
I think with the signings, I do agree with you. Like if we brought in 9 signings plus another one as a free transfer, if it is John Egan, yeah. For me, I look at the signings and I look at the ambition there. 'Cause every signing, like the ambition starts going up. I agree with you, Jez. I said top 10 has to be a minimum at the start of this summer. Before any signs come in, I said we have to be aiming for top 10. So I think we're a top 10 side. Now the ballpark's changed for me. I think West Ham have to be aiming for Europe at least, like at the very least. You know what I'm saying? Who's been the best signing for you, Lou, out of all of them? For value, for ability, for value, like for everything, basically. You're on mute.
Sorry. Mine would have to be Kilman. It's strange because realistically, when you look at our expenditure, he should be the best signing because he's the most expensive, just based on financial terms. But when you look at it, no one out of all of those players we signed, he's probably the last person that everyone expected to be talked about in a way that a lot of people are talking about him, because you're almost looking at 40 million. It's not a bargain, but you're thinking, yeah, okay, I can see why I paid 40 million for this guy. This seems like for an English centre back, this looks like he's worth what we paid for him. We don't look at it now as if 40 million is a bit too much for him. Now it's like it makes sense. He just looks the most settled. He looks cut above the rest, where like essence is concerned on the pitch. Just his aura, the way he plays. So I think all of them. I think my the signing that I thought was going to be crash bang wallop was Somerville, and I really liked it. I really liked Somerville. I liked Somerville when he was at Leeds. Somerville was kind of like my Bowen, because I really wanted West Ham to buy Bowen. Never thought we'd even get linked. We did, and we got him. It was brilliant. So fantastic. Then we got Somerville, and I thought even better. It's another player I didn't think West Ham would go for. We've gone for him. We've got him. Clearly, it's going to be a transition period for Lopetegui getting his players in. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to put a time frame on it, but it'd be interesting to see when we've got all the new players in, how they're all going to mish and mash together, and what will be how they're all going to sort of like click together. Because at the minute, you've got a filter period of the old players and the new players coming in. But at the minute, it's like, I think when you look at it, you can kind of go, well, he's a new signing, so he'll probably get benched for this game and that game. But the one player that you just know is going to get dropped is Kilman. So for me, out of all of them, if he's the mainstay, you're not going, well, okay, we've got Tadibo, so he can fill in for him. We've got so-and-so can fill in for him. It's not. He's the mainstay. So for me, I didn't think he would be, but he's been the best player, best signing so far this summer, Kilman.
I'll go next. Leave Jazz till last. Wan-Bissaka for me, £15 million, 7-year deal. You got a right back who is better than what we've got. You've got a right back who's going to be very, very good for us. Extremely good. One thing with West Ham that I do worry about, I never worry about us scoring goals. Is conceding goals was the problem with us, and I think Wan-Bissaka stops that on that right hand side. I will get onto something later on the right hand side, but for me, Wan-Bissaka's, I think, hands down for value, for longevity, for like quality, he's the guy for me. Jazz, what you saying? Best signing for you, mate, so far?
I agree with both of you. I mean, Kilman obviously was Lopetegui's first choice. I even went as far as to think he could have got the captain's armband. I was thinking, but then Bowen's the right choice, and Kilman has been, putting everything in front of the ball. And if you remember that Villa game, Bailey, when he took it around the goalkeeper, it's Kilman coming back and he's hit his backside. That would have been going in. So he's been getting in the way of the shots. If you look at a Palace game, that Bowen goal, he took it from the edge of our penalty area, took it past 3-4 of them, and 20-yard pass to Bowen to set him up. So that's the other side of him. Wan-Bissaka, really, really good. And I didn't know he had that much to his attacking side. Also in the Palace game, he was there with Bowen saying, if you need me, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And there was one angle I kind of saw that where Bowen is running into the Palace half and Wan-Bissaka's not in the picture, but he's caught up with him. He's like, I'm here if you need me. So really good to see the attacking side of him. Long legs, they call him Spider. So good price contract coming up. So I think, Kilman and Wan-Bissaka look like they've hit the ground running. They played in the league. settled in really, really easily, and you can see they're really, really good players for the future. 26, 27, good ages for us, I think. So yeah, both of them.
What do you guys think of Nicholas Fulkrug, mate? Because I'm going to be honest, we changed. I've said it quite a lot on this channel, and I've said it to a few other people. I want to get your thoughts on this because we chased Duran for the whole summer, literally the whole summer, near enough. And then the next thing you know, we change profile, we change age, we change like everything, and go for Nicholas Fulkrug. Lou, I'll let you go first, mate. What are you saying on that?
Yeah, it doesn't quite make sense on a level of when you see that I know that he played in the Euros and stuff, but when Antonio's playing in front of him and basically doing a better job of like out muscling the defenders when the ball comes near him, it's a little bit worrying because you've got the slight feeling of Hilaire and Skamaka all over again. I thought it made sense if he wasn't the main striker. It would make sense if you go right. Fulkrug can be the cup striker or someone who can bring on for the last 10 minutes. A bit like Souček if you wanted him for the last 10 minutes, chuck the balls in there and go for the headers. But if you're talking about a guy starting games, going to play for the full 90 minutes, from what I've seen of him, he's going to need time to adjust. Nothing against the guy. He scored the other night apparently for Germany. I think he's a system-based striker because what I found, I don't know if any of you two have seen it. I've obviously gone on YouTube and watched a few videos here and there, but a lot of non-West Ham videos were coming up with being impressed with the business West Ham are doing over the summer. And there was one or two in particular which analysed how he would do well at West Ham and why West Ham have got a better striker than Skamaka was or whoever else they tried to sign and put in a position. And they always went back to the Dortmund PSG game where he scored the winning goal.
Yeah.
It was all over the top and he's run onto it with pace, controlled it with his right, hit it with his left, great goal. I'm not sure how many times he's going to get the opportunity to do that in the Premier League at West Ham, providing the service or the system we get him. I think the Duran thing, there was a rumour, and even though I'm not particularly one for believing rumours, but it was a rumour that we were trying to scare Aston Villa into selling us Duran by making out we were going for Fulkrug.
That's what I believe. What I believe happened. Yeah.
And then basically what's happened is that almost Villa not called our bluff, but it got to the point where they went, well, we're going to have to either sign Fulkrug or sign someone else because the rug still isn't moving with Duran. And maybe they've just thought, right, we'll sign these, 15 million Fulkrug cost us? Or around that?
Something like
27,
that.
27,
Yeah.
I think.
So he's not
it's
half the price roughly of Duran. And I think that maybe they signed him as because maybe they didn't look at Antonio like he was going to be a starter still. So they thought, right, we'll get Fulkrug in as the second striker and get Duran in as the first one. Duran hasn't happened. So I think what they've done is gone, right, for now, we're going to use Antonio and we're going to slowly mould Fulkrug in. I am willing to give the man time. I am not going to write him off in the slightest at the moment. But what I do get from him is that he needs support.
But it's not him though, Lou, is it? Like, I'm going to say this quickly, just to come in.
Yeah.
It's not him I've got the problem with. It's the fact that you chase a player down, and let's have it right here, right? And both of you are like well-educated fans, yeah. When Tim Stuyden arrived at West Ham, the first person you would have probably said that needs to be replaced is Mikel Antonio, centre forward, and we haven't. To a point, we haven't replaced Mikel Antonio because he's still starting. Like Antonio, for me, I love him, yeah, but he shouldn't be starting again this season. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you're going for Duran and you're chasing Duran down, and I agree with that comment from Epic there, yeah. We could have signed Duran for 40 mil if we haven't wasted money on Luis Guilherme. Did we really need Luis Guilherme in the ranks at that precise time when we need a centre forward in the ranks who's going to take over from Mikel Antonio? I don't think we do, mate. I think we need a centre forward. Like, I'm going to hand it over to Jazz. I'm going to let's see what Jazz has got to say about it. But for me, I just feel that West Ham dropped the ball on that one. I agree with you 100%, Lou. I feel that West Ham tried to play the game with Villa. Villa weren't backing down, and West Ham had to make a choice then. They either sign Fulkrug or sign no one. And
I'll get you. I'll let you go, Jazz. Before you go, I do think it's a bit harsh to say Gumane is a waste. Well, Hermes is a waste of money at this point. But we'll come to that later on anyway.
but
Sure.
but the thing is though, Lou, do you need to sign him now? Like is he worth losing out on if you can go and get Duran right now? I think if you go and sign Duran right now, we're guaranteed top six because we've got a proper centre.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I just see. I understand. Look, I said this to two people that I know at the time, and I'll make the point quickly that when you've got teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid who go and buy Endrick or the like, for this 16, 17 for 30 million, there's a reason they do it. And we are not a club that has ever done that before. We do not do that normally. And to me, it was alarm bells saying we're going to try and be one of those clubs that show our cards right from the start, saying, look, we're not just talking about this year, we're not talking about next year, we're talking about 5-10 years in the future. Because if you're spending, people don't really, I don't think people really quite understood it in a minute. It's 30 million on a young 18-year-old. West Ham aren't that sort of club. When we sign £30 million players, we sign them for now. So for us to go, right, this kid in the next 5 years could be the Kudus Bowen replacement, etc., whatever. And you go, he's 30 million now. In a year's 2 years' time, he could be worth 80 million. So we're going to get him now when he's a drop down price, and no one realizes the bargain that we've got or the play that we've got. That's what I believe we've done. I personally think we've got in there quick. Yes, to us it's a lot of money, but to a team that looks, I presume we're looking at him and thinking, right, well, this kid was probably being looked at by, or would be looked at by one of the top European clubs at some point. So we're going to get in now before others get in there. And £30 million. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. And we've thrown it all down the drain. But I think what I liked about it was that the message sent that West Ham are doing things differently now. We're going to do things like the big boys do. And we're going to show our cards from the start. We're buying someone who we believe in the next 5 years will be top dollar. And we're going to buy him now. It's something that will see cut price in the next few years. That's personally how I see it. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
Jazz, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think he was 23 million euros, Guillermo, and I think he can play. I think he can play on both wings, and Somerville's obviously on the left wing, and I think there's a high probable chance that Kudus is going to go next summer. So that's kind of why they've done it. But whether a club like West Ham can afford to bed people in slowly, that costs 23 million euros, I'm not sure, and I'm sure the fans are not sure. Another interesting report that came out on Guillermo is that the Brazilian training camp, he was clocked in as one of the fastest players around. He's very, very fast, so that's good to see. Fulcrig. Going back to John Duran, there were two stories saying that the last bid we left with Villa was 32 million plus the youngster to make it up to 37, and then we moved away. Now there's news saying that it was the wages that Danny Ings, because he didn't move, that's why we didn't go in for him. And Villa offered a loan to Perm, and we said we can't because Danny Ings is refusing to leave. So under the financial fair play is more of a salary issue rather than the capital being spent, which is quite interesting, really. Right. So that's kind of come out last couple of days. Make what you do of that. That's quite interesting for me. But I'm a bit of a gambler like James, and I would have gone in anything, because for a club like West Ham, you're not going to get a chance to sign tomorrow's world-class striker like John Duran, and every goal he scores is a dagger to every West Ham fan, and we have cocked up big time here, big time, by not going that extra 5-6 million. It's gonna, now the whole world knows how good he is, and obviously the Chelsea move collapsed before we virtually were in for him. But that's what I'm hearing, that Danny Ings has cost us the move for John Duran, really. Going back to Fulcrig, I did see a bit of him for Germany, scored. Didn't really have a great game, though. He did miss a couple. But what I like about him, despite his physical size, he's a busybody. He does shift around quite quick. He doesn't look isolated as far as I'm concerned. He does look for the ball. He goes left, he goes right, he goes down the channels as much as he can. So I like that about him. He doesn't stand there and feel sorry for himself like some of the other strikers we had. But he does look nervous for me. It's his first. He's never played outside Germany. This is his first move. He looks nervous. He's snatching at a couple of chances I've seen him have. The quicker the first goal happens somehow, the better. But yeah, he looks nervous. It's not easy playing for West Ham and any London club. It's a lot of pressure. It's difficult. We're trying to compare him with John Deering. I think in our minds, it's difficult. Who else is out there? I mean, interesting enough that Wood keeps scoring goals. Isn't he? He's a lump, but I don't know how we're really going to play long term. Is it going to be 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 4-1-4-1? I don't know. But Fulkrug, I think, going back to what Luke said, he'll be very good number 2, very good. As a second striker, be very good. But if he's coming to be a number 1, that's a lot of pressure. It's hard to do that any club. Before I need to see a bit more of him. But at the same time, I'm thinking who else we could have brought in, and I can't think of anyone top of my head. I mean, John Deering's obviously one. I'm trying to think of someone around his price bracket.
Yeah, but Jazz, should he be starting for West Ham right now?
He should be. He should be.
Yeah. Right. My attitude is, Jazz, on this, right, is that you sign Nicholas Fulkrug to come in, right? You give him a game to sort of come in, but this is a man who was in the Champions League final last year, yeah, and he was unlucky not to win the Champions League final in one way. For me, since he's come off the bench, he looks ineffective off the bench. He looks like he's just not there, right? And I just feel that Lopetegui, this is the thing where Lopetegui could lose a lot of the fan base, yeah, on a few things. The striker front, the Kudus situation on the left, and the Paqueta situation also. But we'll get onto them two in a minute. But with him, he should be starting for West Ham. Come Fulham this Saturday, coming up, he needs to start. I don't need him on the bench. I need him starting games. And can you see what I'm saying, Jez?
Yeah. He needs to, because I think it's going to get worse. I mean, how many times can he impress as a sub? And every time he has an uneventful 15 minutes here and there, it's going to get to his head. But you're coming in at 27. And like you said, he's 31. He's not a kid. And but I don't know if that's Lopetegui getting nervous as well. I don't know whether he's not sure Antonio is that safe bet. Antonio's been pretty average so far, I felt. He struggled to get for Jamaica, I heard as well, had an awful game in terms of touches and things. But I agree with you, James. Yeah, he came in as one of our senior signings, and he should be leading the front line, mate. Yeah.
What happens? And I'll put this question to you before we move on. Yeah. But what happens if he doesn't start against Fulham? Because he's had time to bed in now, right? And this is like a rant that I feel inside my soul, right? Is when people say you've got to give him time to bed in. And I'm thinking, this kid's just played for Germany, right? He don't need time to bed in. And I agree with Jazz, right? He's not a kid. He's a 31-year-old German international centre forward, right? He's not a mug. He should be starting for West Ham now, over Mikel Antonio. And what Jazz just said, I make him 100% spot on. It's like the safe bet with Antonio, because you know that, he will give it everything, but will he give it the last bit that you need to win a game? You know what I'm saying? Right, let's move on to Mohamed Kudus. I want to get both of your thoughts on this, because this is quite an interesting topic. Left-sided, is it right? Lou, what are you saying?
No, it's no, really. We all know it's not his best thing, but in fairness to him, I think he's done well for what he's been given. If you're playing a player out of position and he's still playing well, not saying he's playing his best, but he's not. He's doing the best he can where he is, and I think he's still looked a threat where he's been. He's missed a couple of chances. He missed 2 chances against Man City, which could have put us either in the lead or level. So he was unlucky there. He's a bit of an enigma, though. I don't think people realise how good he actually is. And the trouble with him is that, and I've been doing articles and stuff on West Ham Network, and about him, putting up one post praising him. There's a lot of people now that are starting, because he hasn't scored yet or assisted anyone. It's starting to go, all that dribbling, all sort of stuff. It's fine, but he's not producing anything worthwhile after he's done it. And I always feel really sorry for these sort of players, because when you see him when he carries the ball or he gets the ball from hour and a half and beats about 4 or 5 players while holding them off with a chest control and then going, it's incredible to watch. He's mesmerising when he runs with the ball and beats players off. I can watch him all day. It's like watching Messi when he's in full swing for Barcelona, etc. And then he either gets tackled or he gives the ball to someone else and they don't do anything with it or whatever. It looks like he hasn't done anything stats-wise, but fundamentally, he is a fantastic player. Now, the trouble is, West Ham got a lovely headache, but sometimes with lovely headaches, you don't know what to do with them. Do you take paracetamol or ibuprofen? It's one of those two, because Bowen is a right winger. For me, his best position is on the right wing. He struggles to play anywhere.
Not buying it. I'm sorry. Like I have this argument all the time.
I've just Bandor's
All
box.
the time. Yeah, I have it all the time. Yeah,
Right.
last season he scored 16 goals and got 6 assists, I think it was, for West Ham United. Right, you need to go out and get a striker that can match that. It's as simple as that. Like if we're gonna go to, the level. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
I just personally believe his position is the best in the right wing, purely on when I've watched him up front. The stats wise probably back him up quite well. I'm not denying that. But when I see him, when I have watched him last season or season before that, when he played the few times I've seen him up front, he seems to struggle with like a one-on-one with a defender. The best time Bowen gets to go full effect is when he's got the ball at his feet and areas to run. He's a bit of a if you know the goal he scored against Fiorentina, Prague, the final. Paqueta puts him through. That's his perfect ball as a striker, because he hasn't got to do he hasn't got to do any out muscle work. He can run onto the ball and score. And if we were playing that sort of football, and if it's just ball to feet and have a shot, I'm backing him all day long. When you see him on the right and he gets the ball and he starts dribbling at players, I rarely see him get tackled. And I think that his best way is to get the ball on the right and cut inside. And I think that's what a bit of a sucker for Arsenal. It's what he likes to do and it's what he's best at. Now with Kudus likes to do that as well, but I think Kudus could do a job strength-wise up front, but mainly as a number 10 or a cam.
9.
So for me, I genuinely think for us, I think Kudus' best position is on the right wing fundamentally. But both for me, if you James, if you put Bowen up front and you put Kudus on the right and they both work out, I will be the first man.
I will say this. Say this, right? I would agree with you if Soufal was our right back, but not no more. Now Aaron Wan-Bissaka is our right back at our club. Jared Bowen hasn't got to keep tracking back every 5 minutes to cover his arse every 5 minutes. Mo is not as good defensively tracking back as Jared Bowen is. It's just a fact. Jared's always back there and he's more alert. He's more there.
Do you think do you think he's knackered? When I look at him and he loses the ball, he looks fucking knackered.
Yeah, maybe.
Over the ball and they've lost it, bastard.
Maybe, but for me, I look at it. Wan-Bissaka defensively is a massive upgrade on Soufal. Like it's as simple as that, right? With Jared Bowen, if he was an 18-yard box striker where he's just there, right, and balls are coming into him, he's good enough to finish balls off like with one touch finishes and things like that. He's that good. Now, for me, you have to match the stats from last season. Now, if Jared Bowen is up front this season, he will do that again. That's just a given, mate. He will get over 10, coming up to 15 goals in the season. Yeah, and if he's got Paqueta, who we will get onto in his right position, Mo from the right, that's quite deadly, mate. Like, and the thing is,
like, as a side, actually, you just brought something up to my attention. Okay, so we haven't gone out and got Duran, right? Would you have just said, right, we ain't got Duran, let's have Bowen as our striker. Let's bin off Duran. Let's have how can we put it? Bin off Fulkrug, to be fair, because then all you're going to need is Bowen to play the 90 minutes. If it isn't working, you bring on the bulldozer Antonio for the last 10, 20 minutes, whatever, and mix it up that way. Because if he's a good enough striker, we've got a good deadly attack. Would we need a Duran? Because Duran to me seems like a bit of an Antonio, younger version of Antonio.
But the problem is, Lo, the problem is that any striker you put up front, you're always going to have a player out of position. So if you put Antonio up front, Kudus is going to be out of position. If you put Antonio up front, Kudus is going to be out of position. Kudus is going to be the fall guy every single time because people have got this love affair with Bowen on the right. Yeah, I think Bowen can play anywhere. Good. Like, if I'm being honest, well, I think what he does on the right, he can do up front and all, as long as he's got the balls coming through the middle and down the sides of him. Yeah. So that's a problem for me.
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt, but so you're also saying providing he's got support.
Well, he's going to have balls. He's going to have the balls play through the middle of him.
Yeah, but then realistically, you could kind of say that about any striker, couldn't you?
Yeah, but also, I'm going to say this: he's a better presser than all of them. He presses from the front, he chases that ball down, and he makes West Ham a much better press inside. If you see it last season from him from the front, he was pressing that ball all the time, and Paqueta and Kudus and everyone else was further forward. So yeah, Jazz, what are you saying on the Kudus situation, left wing, and Jared Bowen?
Yeah, Bowen can play up front. He can play on the right wing. He's got no issues. Kudus can play through the middle. He can play on the right. There's no problem with that. I think what Lopetegui wants to do long term, he wants to replicate what Arsenal kind of doing 4-3-3 once he gets the right people in. So the three in the middle, I'm thinking Paqueta on the left, Carlos Soler or Alvarez in the middle, with Bowen on the right, and the front three would be Kudus on the right, Somerville on the left, and a striker, whoever that's going to be in the middle. Whether you want Bowen up there, it's up to you. That'll do it. Or 4-2-3-1 will do it with Alvarez, Paqueta in the middle, with Somerville, Kudus, Bowen behind the striker. Those two will. But then, like I said, he's new manager, lots of signings. A few probably won, a few didn't. And Fulkrug, is that Tim Starton signing or is that Lopetegui signing? Tim Starton, isn't it? It looks like. So yeah. I don't know. But there is a few ways you can tinker with the formation and get the best out of the players a bit more than we're doing, I think. Yeah, obviously we don't know what's going to happen with Souček long term. He doesn't fit into any of those. Obviously he's done all right in the game so far, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to fit players like him in the formation, and perhaps Paqueta sometimes. Paqueta's losing the ball a lot. He's going to have to sort himself out. But with the amount of mistakes, yeah, like Mavropanos, Souček hasn't done that badly so far. He's got the odd goal, but where do you put him in? He's not a CDM. He's just there to get a goal, and he really run around, rough people up, and get on the end of it. He's not really a ball winner. He doesn't really break up play a lot. I feel he just runs around, works hard, physical body out there. Very unique player, good sub. But long term, James is 4-3-3 or Lopetegui wants, mate. With all six up front, the two lines of 3-3 fully technical players, mate. Like the Wolves team, like the Neves is all those players they used to have, Matinho and all them lot, fully good. I don't know anything about this Carlos Soler. Maybe he's one of them then that'll fit in that three behind the three with Paqueta and Bowen maybe, and then Kudus, Somerville up front with a Fulkrug up front for now. I don't know.
The thing is, Jazz, what irritates me is we cry out for a left-sided attacker for ages.
Yeah.
We signed one, a very good one. A Crescencio Somerville, and the poor sod is sitting on the bench getting 5 minutes a game. I look at him and I feel like yet again we're trying to shoehorn players in, and this is where the double standards come into play here right now. If this was last season, people would want to hang the manager out to dry. And I'm not saying hang Lopetegui out to dry. I'm not saying that. But you've also got to look at this, that we've got a very, very good left-sided attacker in Crescencio Somerville sitting on the bench. Is he like, you're trying to shoehorn players in basically to try and fit a striker in, which you don't have to do that.
What I always say is, you sign usually someone on the back of a great season, Leeds Player of the Year, Championship Player of the Year. You got to play him sooner or later. Otherwise, that morale, that form, that confidence is going to dwindle bit by bit. And at Bournemouth, he was all right. He again snatched a couple of chances, but he was a busybody trying to make things happen. Got good control. I liked what I saw. A bit of physique like Lanzini, you know, a bit small, but he's all right. He can get up and down really. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with him. I think I think he needs to play quite quick. Otherwise, he might not, his confidence, we might think, oh, am I good enough for this? You know, he has played in the Premiership a couple of years. Another thing I thought of, I was watching the Sunderland Netflix program, and are we the club that last season, it's all coming now, that got a bid turned down for Jack Clark? Are we the club, or is that someone else? I don't know. Because he's gone to Ipswich for 15 million this summer, but last summer I think we were in for him, and he looks all right. He looks good. So maybe Somerville came in this season. Maybe we'll look for Jack Clark last season. I can't remember now, but looks like.
Yeah,
Jack Clark, the winger winger at Sunderland, Luke, really good.
Yeah, that's
really
I knew he was. I knew he was at Sunderland. I know he'd gone to Ipswich.
Yeah. I didn't know that either till I just checked. I go, well, what's happening with Jack? Because he's really good, and they forced him to
Oh, you're right.
stay last season. And then Sunderland said the bid that came in last season from an unnamed Premiership club was higher than the 15 million we've accepted from Ipswich because we couldn't tell him you can't go for the second time.
I just checked
What
the deadline day.
what have you made of Lucas Paqueta, mate? Like, this is the way I'm going to lead on now to final bit. Is Lucas Paqueta? I'm not convinced at all, mate. I don't know about you boys, but first off, I think he's playing out of position. I don't agree with where he's playing at all. I think you put him in a free there, and you've got a problem there for me because he gets the ball. If he does a little bit of skill and he loses the ball, then the attacking side's on our goal, right up the pitch. Lou, what are you saying about Paqueta, mate?
It's funny because every time I gets to the ball, I have the little voice in me, the argument me and you had last season. That
Yeah, I know.
he's world class or he's not world class. Just a little thing anecdote for it. If anyone's not seen it, there's a podcast story about when Taarabt was at QPR, and Neil Warnock was told to get rid of him because the coach told them that Taarabt would get him sacked because he's a skillful flair player. And what Warnock realised in training was that his skills were absolutely fine, providing he was in the opposition's half. Every time he got the ball in the opposition half, he tried to do a skill and he used to get tackled. So he said, right, if anyone passes to Taarabt, it's got to be in the opposition half. If you pass to him an hour and a half, you get a £50 fine. That's it, dead on. He said, no one passed him. Then all he done is his skills in the opposition half. We went up with record points for every one of the best players in the championship, blah, 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 blah. So what I've realised, including that Man City game, because that Man City game was an eye-opener because they are... I've always called Haaland a little bit overrated because he never seems to do it in big games. He always seems to score, get 5 goals against like Luton and stuff like that. But when you actually see him in person, like I have the last game, he is a machine. They are a well-drilled machine, i.e., you cannot give them even an ounce of an opportunity to get the ball off you. He obviously makes a mistake for the first goal. I think I blamed Emerson, and then I blamed Paqueta, and I blamed him again because it's a poor pass, and I think he's leaning into the player. It doesn't go well. Paqueta, for me, Paqueta on his day is a world-class player. For us at the minute, I think we're in this transition period of not everyone's playing where they will be. It's like a bit of an old school versus a new school team that they'll eventually. I hope so that they'll all eventually mould during the season, and we'll see the team build and go on from there. I think if he's going to play for us anymore, he can't be kind of allowed to play too much in an hour and a half because what he's doing is he's doing his skills, which are fantastic when they work, but he always seems to lose the ball when he's an hour and a half. If he's in the opposition half and he does his skills, he's normally quite good at it. He's normally quite good at nutmegging a defender and then seeing with Bowen and chipping the ball over to Bowen or Kudus or Antonio or whoever's there. So I think the problem with him is that, and this is kind of why I'm a little bit shocked in Lopetegui football because I thought would be, when I'm saying underwhelming, I mean I thought would be high pressing a lot more, and we'd be trying to narrow down.
Yeah, but I've said it previous. Krug, Antonio are not consistent pressers.
No,
and that's the difference. Like when you have Bowen up there, I know people have got this. Like I see people in the chat, aka John's got the love affair with Jared Bowen on the right. But for me, I'll just look at it that with Paqueta, he needs to be further up the pitch. Like, and not being funny, swap him with Mo. Like, and then it just takes the element out of it straight away. Like where Paqueta is currently right now, he's in a bit of no man's land to a point. I actually feel sorry for him to a point because if he goes forward, then he's good on that sort of left-hand side, working with Emerson and sort of Mo to a point. But if he gives the ball away, he's all over the place, like literally all over the gaff. Like, Jazz, what are you saying about Paqueta?
Yeah, I'm looking at the game yesterday between Brazil and Ecuador in the lineup. Brazil played 4-2-3-1. Paqueta is a central number 10 and the 3 behind the striker. So Paqueta's got the second highest rating, 7.7 yesterday. And then before that, they played Uruguay a couple of months back and they played 4-3-3 Brazil. Paqueta playing in the central role in the three behind the three, so always central, and he did that at Lyon as well. So 4-3-3 for Brazil. Paqueta is playing in the middle of the three behind the three, or 4-2-3-1, and then again in the number 10 behind the striker. So none of those times of Brazil played him as a CDM like we do, or on the left wing as such. But I think last year for Brazil, they used to do 4-2-3-1, and he used to be one of the CDMs. But maybe what I'm thinking just now while you guys are talking is maybe it's best to shove him up front, because if he loses it in the penalty area of the opposition, who gives a shit? But if you play him in front of if you play him in the front of the back four where he loses it, we're fucked. Do you see what I mean? So managers
saying he's more of a sort of target man, PR kind of guy.
He's a 10, mate.
No, he has to play. He's playing for the centre.
He is.
Not tonight, but when you say up front, I mean, it doesn't strike me as the kind of guy whose first
number 10
is get a shot away.
He's a number 10 all day long. Like
number 10 behind the striker. Behind the striker.
I agree with that. You meant 9. Sorry, I thought you meant.
Yeah, like the thing
behind
is,
the striker.
Like, what system would you say is best suited for West Ham currently right now? Because you've got 4-3-3 that we played. We played it a lot last season, but we played Paqueta, Bowen, and Goodness as a front three, which I'm going to be honest was pretty spicy. Now we're playing 4-3-3 again, but we've got Mo on the left. We've got Paqueta.
It's 4-1-4-1, isn't it? I'm getting confused now. Isn't it 4-1-4-1?
Yeah, it's as good as, yeah.
I tweeted it a little while ago. This is before we got Soler in. I have never seen Soler play. I do not know anything about the guy. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about the guy. But all I've heard about the guy is very good, especially when he was at Valencia. Now, he seems to me a bit of a Swiss Army knife of a midfielder, so he can kind of play anywhere. But he's mainly like an attacking midfielder, can play on the left, can play on the right. Can also come back as a box-to-box midfielder. So, if anything, we've done possibly the deal of summer, but we just don't know it yet. We're going to be seeing him play for us. Now, I think I'd really like Todibo when he come on, the sub appearances that he made. Then when he played against Bournemouth, he had a shocker. I was like, wow, okay, so this guy needs a bit of time to adjust.
I thought he was all right. I didn't notice him have a shocker.
I personally thought he had a shocker, personally. He didn't seem from, eh?
Who are you on about? Todibo.
Yeah.
In the back. Just for the fact that when he come against Villa, and I think it was Palace, he looked.
Bournemouth didn't even score, so I don't know what he done wrong.
No, he was bad in the first half.
His whole demeanour. When he come on as sub, he looked like a world class defender. You know, just got that aura, that calmness about when he get the ball. Against Bournemouth, he looked like he had time on the ball as well, which is quite he had time on the ball, and he was passing the ball to Bournemouth, who had a higher press themselves. I think they were a better team on the night, personally, but. Anyway,
they were good.
Mavropanos, for me, I keep trying to defend him, and every time I try to defend him, in the next moment he gives the ball away. So I can't, and it really, really pissed me off against Man City when he bottled the challenge, which led to the third goal. I can't forgive him for that. For me, he needs to get dropped for that. I cannot forgive bottling. So for me, Todibo comes in now. If we're saying that Paqueta is the number 10, then I'm absolutely fine with that. In fact, I've tweeted about a team, our best team on paper before the window's shut. I'm obviously going to have to change that now. I like Rodriguez, but I think if Alvarez is fit, Alvarez plays, and Rodriguez can be coming on as a sub to either be with him or replace him. If this Soler can play where people saying he can play, then maybe have Alvarez and Soler working with both Paqueta and Alvarez as a bit of a pivot and a box-to-box kind of guy.
Paqueta though needs to be further forward though.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So Paqueta can have that. We can say, right, you forget about defending back. You get up top, and you just do your attacking thing and your skills. And you can have Somerville on the left, Kudus on the right, and Bowen up top. Because I'm not going to sit here and go, Bowen's not going to play up front, because if it works out, James, I'm all with you all day.
I've got a feeling, which I know, this is what I think is going to happen. I don't think Forkrug's going to work out. I've got a really funny feeling on this one, big time. And I don't be surprised at the next international break, that after the international break in October, Bowen will start going up front and Kudus will be going over to the right, and they'll start changing it around. And then basically probably go Bowen up front, Kudus on the right, Paqueta on the left, and then bring in Soler and have Soler, Rodriguez, and Alvarez as a three-man midfield. Don't be surprised, and listen, get your money on that because I'm telling you, I think that is on the cards. I'm just not. For me, I think Paqueta's out of position. I think Mo's out of position. I think we've got players out of position who are not like you're getting 80% of them. You're not getting 100% of them. Like, and I think that's a bit of a problem. We need 100% Mo and 100% Paqueta. If we're gonna compete for Europe, we've got to have 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
it has surprised me the way he's gone about it. I really kind of thought he'd be because the way he was talking in pre-season was that the players that were playing, which was mainly the boys, weren't up to his standard at all. With a lot of improvement to go. So when he started the first two games, were basically last season's majority of it last season's players. I was really shocked against Palace that he started and obviously won, so I can't really moan in. Played well. Why do you think he's? Do you think he's being clever, or do you think he's being a bit stubborn? Not chucking them all in straight away, because we can all say that why not just chuck him? If it works, it works. But what's the point in signing 9 players if you're not going to start using them? Or do you think it's clever for him to go? Well, he's worming them in. Basically, he's moulding them. He's not going to just chuck them all in right in one go. Because I think some of these players can probably play.
I think he's been respectful because he thinks every member of the squad is going to be needed and respected. So in that first game, which I would have done like you, Luke, I would have chucked them all out. Souček, fuck off, Kafal.
I can understand him starting a few of them, but not as many as he did.
No, but if he did what you and me want him to do, then the morale drops in Moyes' players. But now he's given them a chance. So if he drops Antonio Kafal, they can't say nothing. They've been shit. So they go to the back. It's a bit of that.
I agree. I think Antonio played well against City personally. That's just my opinion.
Nah, you can have Antonio. It's fine. I'm not having him.
Yeah,
but let me finish with one thing. The 4-2-3-1. What I think we should do is looks like you guys everyone's thinking is. Fulkrug, I don't want to say nothing yet. It's way too early for me. I'm not saying nothing on him, but looks like what you two are edging towards is Bowen up front, 4-2-3-1, Paqueta like Brazil in the middle, Kudos, Somerville either side of him, with Soler and Alvarez as the CDMs. So if we under the cosh, then Paqueta can go back and make a 3 in the middle. Because I think Lopetegui like Moyes. Unlike me, I don't think he's going to do 4-2-3-1 and play Paqueta and Alvarez at the back. That's going to be too open for him. Paqueta can't defend. So I think he's going to have Soler and Alvarez or Rodriguez or Souček, one of the 2 out of those 4, and then Paqueta ahead of them as the number 10. So if you lose it, trying to set Bowen up, we should be fine.
Jazz, that front 4 is frightening. That is a frightening front 4. That's got pace on either flank. That's got players who can make space from the wings in Somerville and Kudus. You've got Bowen, who will always play on the last man. He will always play. He will be literally on the last man every time and trying to get in behind. Do you know what I'm saying? I look at it and I get the striker front with Fulkrug and everything, and I think yes, he's a good striker, but is he good enough right now for us to score goals to get us into Europe? Because that's why he's here. He's here to get us into Europe.
He's not going to get 15 to 20 goals a year. I can't see that at the moment.
And that is my argument, right? And I would put that to anyone. He has to match what Bowen done last season. He just has to, because what's the point getting rid of Bowen out onto the wing if you've got no one up front who's putting the ball in the back of the net? You know what I'm saying?
Can I just ask how many goals has Bowen scored from the right compared to when he went up front? Out of interest, just out of interest. I'm not trying to.
I couldn't tell you, but. Right. Let's put it this way. In one season last year, Bowen scored 16 goals. That's the highest he scored at West Ham.
Yeah, but did he score? He didn't play the whole season up front, though, did he?
He was playing 4-3-3 at West Ham most of the season last season.
Whole season, mate. He weren't.
He played Souček, Alvarez, and who's the other one? Press as a 3-man midfield. And he played Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudus up front. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I'm saying not for the whole season. Like he might have done really well there when he was there, but not for the whole season.
Well, I'll tell you what, Antonio, don't forget Antonio was injured for a large period last season.
Yeah,
And only come back.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Antonio come back towards the back end of like what was it, March time? I think I remember the Newcastle game, like the 4-3 that we forget. But I'm telling you, Bowen played a vast majority of the season up there, and he was doing all right. Do you know what I'm saying?
If it were, I
yeah.
personally wouldn't have him there. Personally, I'd prefer him on the right. That's just me. So if you want him there, and if he plays well there,
No, we don't want to. But what James is saying, our confidence in the Fulkrig, we're not sure. And this is, we'll do better with Bowen up front than Fulkrig at the moment. It looks like, and Paqueta will benefit off this playing through the middle, with Somerville coming in as well. So he ticks a lot of boxes. Carlos Soler comes in, and then if we're under the cosh and we're not too open, then Paqueta, Soler, and Alvarez make the 3 CDMs in the middle. And when we're attacking, Paqueta becomes a number 10. Yeah.
I'm not gonna, you know.
I was going to get to this quickly. Colin, I appreciate it, mate. Why not go out and play 2 number 10s each? Other and Bowen, Kudus on the right. Good show, boys. Like your views. Listen, I get that. I get what people are saying, but my attitude is, and whether people believe it or not, Antonio was injured for the vast majority of last season. So who was our centre forward up front? I would just like to ask that in the chat. Who was because Antonio was out for a long time last season, and I remember it clear as day, right? Because
you're right.
It was better on the left. Kudus on the right and Bowen through the fucking middle. And another reason why I'm going to say that,
he got 1 in 2, James. He got 16 goals in 34 games last season.
He done all right, mate. He done all right. And our pressing last season was a lot better, a hell of a lot better. Like we was pressing from the front. So do you know what I mean? I think I've got to block him. Do you know what I mean? What an annoying man.
Funny boy.
Yeah, it's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Gonna have a rank. As they say. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. What, before we wrap this up, what are you saying about Lopetegui as a whole, moving forward? Like, what are you expecting at Fulham for you?
Go on, Jazz. You go first.
Fulham.
God. Saturday, 3:00.
Shall I go first, or you go first?
Hello.
It's really hard to gauge because we've seen 3 league games and 3 different things, haven't we? Yeah. We've seen awful defending at Villa. We've seen a terrible first half at Palace, a really good second half against Palace. City, good start, good after the second half, then a bit, it's all over the place, but it's not all bad. It's not all good. It's kind of in the middle as expected after 3 games for a lot of the clubs. Fulham, I just expect to have a good performance, mate. I think. In other words, we won't lose. I think, and we shouldn't lose. He's got 2 years, isn't he, to get us into Europe? So we got to kick on, and he's got to decide quickly. I mean, he's got the international break to think over a few things, so I'm expecting points against Fulham, mate, and better defensively. He needs to make up his mind what the back four is going to be as well, I think, especially the centre-back pairing. He's got to decide that early. Don't want it chopping and changing too much. Kilman's definitely there. I don't like Mavropoulos, mate. He's a lovely fella, but he's got a mistake in him, mate. Too many mistakes in him. Same as Paqueta playing in the position he is. Too many mistakes in him. So hopefully the manager's listening and he fixes all of those issues, isn't it, mate?
Yeah. I see what Fresh is saying there, yeah? He's got 9 goals from the right wing, 4 assists, 7 goals, 2 assists. But what he's misinterpreting is that where Bowen was starting on the right, they used to interchange all over the place. And that front 3 was fluid. Do you know what I mean?
Freshfielder, look at every game, every minute, mate. Get back to us, mate.
Get on every single fucking game, because I know what I'm saying is fucking correct. I know it. I wouldn't say it.
Pause it with a remote control and write your notes down.
Pause it, rewind, and both selector it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'll go next about Fulham. It's a big game. I'm going to be honest. It's a big week next week. Fulham, Liverpool, Chelsea. That is huge. Let's be honest, lads. Like that is. Oh yeah, that's a week and a half to sort of like divulge into. I expect West Ham to go to Fulham and win. If you're competing or trying to compete for Europe, you have to go to Fulham and win there. We've got absolutely fucking annihilated last season up there, and I remember it right before Christmas, and it was
I like
bad.
them. I like their manager, James. I said we should have spoken to him. Not saying giving him the job, but I
Yeah,
would have spoken to him. I
yeah,
like
and
him.
we got absolutely blitzed up there. So I do expect West Ham to go there and not lose the game. Right, that's one thing I will say. With the talent that we've got, we should go there
Yeah,
and at least
yeah,
not lose the game. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
Lou,
yeah.
what are you saying on Fulham?
Got one more point than us, Luke. They're on 4
I'm
points.
gonna level with people. My hope for this season was fundamentally just to see some better football, which I've seen in patches so far. It's not been the most. It's not about entertainment. It's not about entertainment for me. For me, it's about seeing that the players get the system and play well in the system. So I don't need to see all that attack or tricks and skills and stuff. I just want to see that we're playing well and we know what we're doing. Every player knows what to do. So if we go to Fulham and we give it a confident performance, I'm a West Ham fan. I don't expect to win every game. I'm sorry, I don't. It's in me. It's in my system that I don't expect West Ham to win. I want them to win. If we were a Championship club in the cup, maybe I expect us to win then, because on paper we should do. But I don't expect West Ham to win every game. I am surprised and pleasantly surprised when we win games. So for me, it'd be brilliant if we go to win. We have to go there to win, because I think we have to change our mentality as a football club. We have to go to try and win every game. Also, Lopetegui does come across as a bit of a psycho, to be fair. I think I've been realising that over the last few weeks. He's very much a standards man. And going from his career thus far, he seems a bit of a hothead. And like, he lives and dies by his standards. There is when he took Bowen off and Paqueta off against Villa, that was like alarm bells ringing. Like, no one's place realistically is safe. Although I was surprised that Suchek played both, started and finished both games, or what is it, against Palace and Villa. So maybe there's a few players that he likes that we didn't think he'd like, but he trusts and whatever. But he seems a man of standards. So if he wants to go, and get us Europe and stuff, then we'll go and beat Fulham 2-1, 3-1, or 2-0 or 3-0 or something like that. But like the Palace game. So I want to see a good performance fundamentally. If we win it, fantastic. If not, so agree with you two lads. We need to have standards and high aims as a club. But after watching 2 years for me of NAF football, I just want a refresher, and I want to just be able to enjoy watching football games again. And that's a selfish point for me. It's a selfish point, but that's all I want personally. So if we get better, fantastic as a bonus.
I'm waiting to come in here. Right, listen, I get what you're saying.
Smith Rowe, mate.
Right, I get what you're saying, Lou, but you have to win games of football. Right, we can look good, and if we keep losing every week, people are going to say, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, no, I get that.
I mean, yeah, and I just feel the standards are at a level now where we're going, right, we have to be in the top 10 without question. Like, when I look at the teams in the bottom half, like your Brentfords, your Forests, your Wolves, your Evertons, them sort of teams, West Ham piss all over them teams. No disrespect to them, but we do. Yeah, we've got a bigger fan base. We've done more in recent history, and we should be aiming higher up the league. I just feel it's the easy sort of scapegoat or easy sort of excuse if it doesn't go right this year. We'll see entertaining football, but we finished 14th. Like, I don't think like that's going to go down well. And the fear is with me is that we have to get Europe this year to a point, because if you want to keep the likes of Mohamed Kudus, Alvarez, Paqueta, they ain't going to hang around for a 14th place finish. They simply ain't. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I agree. But then this is the left side of it, is the fact that we finished 14th under Moyes and won a trophy. So playing exactly entertaining football. So,
but would you accept that this year? If we finish 14th this year
and played better football, yeah.
But if we finish 14th this year and won the FA Cup, would you accept that?
Yeah, because
big time.
I would personally, because also we qualify for Europe in the Cup anyway. So it would be a backdoor entrance into Europe anyway. But yeah, I think I'll accept that. It's just because you finish 14th doesn't mean doesn't mean the whole season has got to be in the bottom half. You can drop off towards the end. It's a bit annoying, but we did the same thing in 15-16 when we dropped off under Bilic when Pyatt was causing havoc in the Premier League. We had an amazing season, fucked it in the last 3 or 4 games. You know, and it's there's this thing of balancing act of going, well, you know, we watched good football season, we've been crap, but it doesn't. The problem we've been having the last few years is this whole thing of play well and lose, or play shit and win. I don't think it's got to be a curtain.
So what's the minimum then for you? Like,
minimum's good football, and I don't mean I do not mean I have to be entertained like a 10-year-old.
But I mean league wise, because there must be a minimum standard with you that says right.
Yeah, I'd say 8th minimum. Because and I'll always go back to the fact if David Moyes, who couldn't be successful under, you know, at Man United, got Sunderland relegated, and then was a complete useless manager at Sociedad, can get us into Europe, will save us from relegation, and then get us into Europe straight away. There's no reason why a bunch of other managers can't do it, including Lopetegui, who's won a European trophy as it is. So it would be 8th, but I think we can do that while playing good football. And when I say good football, I mean football that you understand that the players are understanding what they're doing. We defend well. We attack. We need to attack. The players all know what they're doing. So it's a cohesive tactics. So for me, you can play football and win. So play good football and win. So I think 8th would be mine. I know you said 10th. I don't know what Jazz has said.
10th before the window opened, but after seeing what's happened, 7th. I think we need to get a Europe.
The thing with me, this is that I've been a West Ham fan since I was 10 years old. Winning was not something that I was brought up to expect from West Ham. I've enjoyed the stuff under the European stuff. Moyes pissed me off and frustrated me towards the end, and that's why I've been so against him for so long. And like, it's been great, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not salivating for Europe again. I know we have to get there. I know everyone's probably looking at this going, what are you talking about, mate? But for me, I just want a bit of West Ham back. Just want the bit of West Ham back that I love.
It's harder to sign players, Luke, out of Europe.
It ain't the same West Ham no more. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm going to say,
it's a selfish point from me that all I want to see is some better.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, this is not the old West Ham anymore. Like, the moment you go to Stratford, it's a completely different level now.
Okay. Look. What I'm saying, fundamentally, I've said that all I want is better football. So, are you saying that I shouldn't expect good football as a fundamental?
What I'm saying is having good football, but the results have to match the football.
Because
you can play like Bournemouth. For instance, you can play like Bournemouth and finish 12th. But are we a 12th place club? Really?
Older, but there's no guarantee that Bournemouth will because fundamentally, I think Bournemouth have better results than us this season, haven't they, so far? So
two draws, loss in the cup, and a 3-2 win against Everton.
Yeah. So, but it's this whole thing that you know, me saying that I want to see better football suddenly means, hold on, you don't want to win every game then. That's kind of
no. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there has to be a standard set of good football, and not just saying good football. Good football has to come with results. Like, you can't be playing good football and then losing every week, because it won't wash. I'm telling you, like, James, people will moan about that.
I totally agree with you, but I won't personally, me myself, be moaning if we lose most weeks, because to me, I after wanting Moyes out because the football was so crap, that was the main reason why I wanted him out. I'm not going to suddenly turn around and go, well, this guy's playing better football but not getting results. So I can't exactly go.
So what would happen? What would happen in this situation? Well, I'm going to put a situation to, then I'll hand it over to Jazz. This Lopetegui's on a 2-year deal, right? He's got 2 years to secure West Ham into Europe. What happens come next season if he does finish, say, 13th in the league, and then you're going to have a situation next year in regards of what do you do with the manager? Do you let him run his contract down? Do you see what he does? If what happens if he goes and West Ham playing brilliant football? Do you give him a new deal, or do you not give him a new deal, or do you go in a different direction?
No, I wouldn't give him a new deal because he hasn't achieved what he's been brought in to achieve. That from a club perspective, yes, regardless of what I want, he has to achieve results. Now, if he does that playing good football, brilliant, fantastic. Give him another 2, you'll do after, whatever you got to give him. If he's not getting results, playing good football, and there's one bloke in the stands at 60,000 and me going, yeah, well done, boys, well done, but we're doing shit, and that you don't mean shit, so he's got to go. So, but the trouble is that would the club pull the plug when it's needed, or will they just wait until the end of the season like they did under Moyes? Because out of like, oh, well, he did well in his first season. He got us there. We played better football. So the second season, blah blah blah, this blah 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 that. So like I said, regardless of what I want, it doesn't matter. I personally just want to see, but I want to be able to watch my team when I go there and see better. But that would make me fundamentally happy. I would be even more happy if we got the results that come along with that. That's just me. That's just me. I can't at the minute. You know, I think Villa would have pissed me off. I think Villa, if I hadn't had this mentality, Villa would have really pissed me off, because not only did the guy that we'd been stalking all over the summer score against us, score the winner, which is the most ironic West Ham thing ever, but the football wasn't really particularly that great. It was great in segments, but it wasn't that much different from what I watched it. So I let it go because it was the first game. I thought I'm not going to chew his head off.
Yeah.
But it's gradually better. I think Man City was okay. We gave it more than I think we would have done.
Man City deserves a lot of respect in that game, because I thought West Ham had a good go. Jazz, what do you want from West Ham this season, mate? From Lopetegui and co.
Yeah, top 10, top 7 would be good for me. I can see he's trying to play good football in parts. Just, if anything, too expansive and open at the back with the full backs on the halfway line, leaving lots of gap in the back. Quite poor in the CDM area, like I said. Rodriguez exposed. Paqueta roaming all over the pitch. Antonio can't press. There was one match, but Antonio was like right back. It was ridiculous, right? So we still got issues, but it'll come. I can definitely see good things. Yeah, let's wait and see if we get into Europe in those 2 years or not. He's got a 2-year contract. If we don't get into Europe, he doesn't get the third option. They will wait until the full 2 years are up. They won't sack him after year 1 unless we get relegated. I can't see that. So that's the kind of board they are. Yeah.
Is it more just this season bedding all the players? And I'm going to use that phrase because everyone fucking uses it currently right now. Bedding in these players for this season and then attacking it next season in a one-off season with Lopetegui and saying, right, he builds the team up. If West Ham finish in the top 10, that's great. Yeah, because you can see progression. Then the following season is the one where they're going to go, right, we're going to go all out for this to try and get that European spot.
I think we will get Europe in 2 years. Second year, I think we'll get it.
Yeah.
I don't know about this year. There's too many things in the air. Like some of the old players are still there. Some of the new ones, we don't know what's going on with them. How they're going to play. What system Lopetegui's going to play. He's got it in his mind of what he wants to do, but it's human nature. Sometimes you try to do things too quickly, too slowly. You get nervous. It's a big club. Like I always say, managing Fulham, Leicester, Wolves. It's different to managing in London, you know. It's pressure, big stadium, lots of fans. James on your back every game, me as well.
I know, mate.
So it's lots of things. That's why Paul Craig looks nervous. Somerville's a bit nervous. Managers, it takes time. So let's see where this journey goes. But I'm confident his intentions are correct. He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to play in more than one formation. He's making lots of subs fairly early, making the maximum use of each one of those 25 in the squad. So going in the right direction. But yeah, we can't say for sure which player's going to work out, which not, where exactly we're going to finish. But we like to get Europe in the 2 years, this year ideally. But yeah, some mistakes will happen in the transfer window. You bought so many players. We can guess at the 2-3 that we're a bit worried about already. We might have to recycle them out. And Danny Ings as well as to, if he goes, and we can bring 1 or 2 more in January, I think. But
right, to round this up, we've got Fulham, Liverpool, Chelsea. I want your predictions, lads, before we go on how you see that week going, because that is quite a big week. Right, Lou, I'll start off with you. What you're saying about the 3 games?
Beat Fulham, lose Liverpool, draw with Chelsea.
Yeah. Jazz, what you saying?
It's the Palace game again. We have to win. It's the Palace game all over again. We have to win. And it'll be sometimes, gentlemen, it'll be like we outscored the other team. We're not going to keep that many clean sheets, even though somehow we have, but it'll be 3-2, 4-3. It'll be that kind of thing until we bed in. And solidify the back four. So we'll beat Fulham. It could be 3-2, could be 4-2. I don't know. Liverpool don't get nothing out there. As soon as that draw was made, I didn't even get out the ground. And someone's like, "We got Liverpool." I'm like, "Fucking hell, man! Let me enjoy tonight." Fuck's sake. So Liverpool, we go out. Chelsea, are we home or home? Aren't we?
12:30 kickoff.
We've done all right against them recently. We've done all right, and they're
here and their team at a minute, mate. They're not quite clicked yet, but they're good on their day. They beat
this.
Bulls pretty well.
I can see all three things in this one. Because of their individual players, they can get that individual magic through 2-3 of them, and our defense is still settling down. Palmer can cut us to shreds. I can see a lot of things happening, and I hate sitting on the fence, but I might go for a draw in the Chelsea game then. So on 4 points from the 2 league games, that'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be not bad.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if West Ham drew with Fulham and beat Chelsea. The complete reverse.
Yeah.
It's just always the way, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, we've played Chelsea over the last few years at home, and I think we've lost for a while against them.
We've done all right.
We beat them last year 3-1. The year before that was a draw. The year before that, I think we beat them 3-2. Have I got that right? Yeah. Mazwaku, he scored an absolute weldy, and the game there.
He didn't know he did that, did he?
And a lot of them games, if I remember rightly, a few of them games were lunchtime kickoffs. So we usually do pretty well against Chelsea, especially at home. So it's going to be interesting to see. But gentlemen, we have run our course. I appreciate both of you gentlemen coming on this Sunday night. Lou, shout out all your social media links and where everyone can find you, son.
No, you don't want to follow me. I tweet rubbish and all. No, but I will shout out to West Ham Network. They're my boys are over there. So I've been there for God, how long have I been there for? Probably about years. I've been 8 years, I think, at the network. So go give them a like and a subscribe and all the rest of it. And I'm on Twitter as Luke Bailey1 if you want to follow me on there. It's up to you. Don't blame me if you don't want to.
Luke, have you caught up with Dan? Dan in a while. Dan, how's Dan? Have you caught up with him in a while?
Oh, what Dan?
Dan Love, isn't it?
I don't know.
With a ponytail. Do you remember he used to do the mic?
I don't really know him personally. I know of him through.
Because he was West Ham, Irons United back in the day, wasn't he? Do you remember?
There was a lot of comings and goes. I don't know the full ins and outs of all of it. It's not really my business to know any of it. To be honest with you, I'm only a guest. I only can't.
I know everything, and I'm going to write a book on it. I keep the gossip on all the fucking channels. I know everyone what they get up to.
I do like to hear your gossip, and when I'm 10 pints in, then I will gossip with other people. But when I'm perfectly sober, I go, no, you
I'm probably on here with all the boys. We're probably the main gossip. Jazz, shout out your channel, mate. Where everyone can find you.
West Ham Irons channel. Yeah, have a look. It's a bit like James would jump up and down, get a bit hot under the collar sometimes, have a bit too many rums.
Right, I'll tell you what, I'll promote his channel for him. Right, go and follow Jazz on West Ham Irons channel, go and subscribe to him, smash a like on the video, do all that stuff, mate.
You get all the gossip on my channel.
You want gossip, you want inside info, he's the guy. Also, smash a like on this video and subscribe to this channel, E20 Zone TV. Jay's going to be back in the week. He's going to be doing some videos for the members. And we'll be building up to the Fulham game. Big game. Me, Lucas, Jay, and a few of the other boys will be on here. Good show tonight. I've enjoyed this one. Quite in depth. These lads ain't sensitive like other people and they ain't going to get triggered, but it is what it is.
Trust me, I am in a lot of ways, but yeah.
It is what it is. Anyway, from me to you, have a good week wherever you are. Be safe, be well. Before I go, we smashed 1 million views on E20 the other day.
Wow.
And I am over the moon by it. Trust me. I remember many years ago, I started with a phone and 6 people. Shout out to Jay Woods, Joan, Exponential Anger, and a few others in the chat who've been there since the beginning. I really so much love from me. Do you know what I mean? 1 million views to me is fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying? And when I started off with 6 people, I thought I'd be lucky if I get back in 1,000. Do you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Have a good week wherever you are, and I will see you again in the next one. Peace.